guys, welcome to a special episode of the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where today we are going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and the rest of the NFL. More specifically, we are going to talk about who needs to shit or get off the pot this year, more specifically, because there is a lot of players that we've been looking at and we've been talking about on our podcast specials, and who we really think needs to step up this year, right? And who needs to have a better season, and who really needs to, to bring it. And we're also going to take a look across the league as well and look at some teams and players that we also might think, might take a couple steps forward, or teams and players that might take a couple steps back. So with that, I'm Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill and Mr. T. Reese. And as always, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. We're getting close to 100 subs, and when we do, we're going to have a giveaway for you guys, and have some more videos to come as well. So, guys, let's go ahead and get started. For the Bills, I'm actually going to kind of kick this off to kind of kickstart the conversation. But the reason I kind of wanted to have this conversation as well is because I was listening to something on the radio this morning, and it just kind of like made a lot of sense to me. And I think for me, one of the Bills players that absolutely needs to like get his butt in gear this year and have a breakout season, or it's just going to be considered a bust, is Dalton Kincaid. 100% Dalton Kincaid. Dude's got to have a good season this year. This is going on his third season. He's been dropping the ball like crazy. He had, what did they say? He's 2 touchdowns last year, like in the whole season. It's ridiculous. Like, for the amount of draft capital they spent, first round pick to get that guy, like, dude, you got to be better. Everyone says like, oh, well, the Chiefs did it with, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl with scrub wide receivers. Yeah, but everyone's forgetting, as much as we hate him, everyone's forgetting they had Travis Kelce. Same thing with the Patriots. They won multiple Super Bowls with scrub wide receivers, but they had Gronk, right? You drafted this guy stating that he was going to be that guy, right? And he's not been that guy. And nobody seems to know what he is. Like, is he a finesse pass catching tight end? Is he a blocker? Because if we've used a first round pick on a blocker, Brandon Beane needs to be fired. And thirdly, if he's supposed to be just outpower and out athlete everybody on the field, he's way too small for that. So what are we doing? And I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Other than the dropped passes, the dropped touchdowns there, what do we think that any of this has to do with the coaching and like the schemes that they're drawing up, whether or not they're using him correctly?
Well, I mean, the rule of thumb is, I think I said it before, it's like 3 years it takes for a tight end to really figure it out. It's usually what the average is. There was a report today, I guess, came out talking about that Don Kincaid's injury is much worse than what we thought it was. So I don't know what that entails for this training camp coming up. I don't know why that report just came out now. It's very odd. So I don't know if we're being prepared to be told something. But I really, I mean, you're right. He's got to do something this year. I mean, this is third year. Barring no injury setbacks, he's got to do something. I mean, came in with a lot of hype. I was expecting a little more out of him too. But I mean, also, like you said, to what you said, Sean, I mean, your question was, could it be the coaching? I don't know if it's the coaching. It could be at the detriment of how the offense is ran with the everybody eats philosophy. So that could be another reason why he doesn't get a lot, as many targets we thought he was going to get. But yeah, he does, regardless of the fact, he's got to do something this year to warrant the reason for him to be drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, listen to this stat line: 44 for 75. Okay, that's 62%. 448 yards all season, 2 touchdowns, and then in the playoffs, 71 yards, no touchdowns. 3 playoff games, 71 yards. You mean to tell me that they couldn't have gotten him the ball more, or he couldn't have gotten open? 448 yards over the entire season. I mean, I know he missed a couple of games, but really? This guy's supposed to be like a pass catching tight end, and 448 yards? That's abysmal.
I will say, funnily enough, as one of my choices, I had his partner in crime and the tight end on the opposite side of Dawson Knox being the one who needs to kind of kick it into gear. especially considering as the Bills drafted that tight end. I don't know if that's a sign to both of these guys that they're both replaceable. Um, and maybe it'll give them the kick in the ass they need to get going.
Couple of things with Dawson Knox. One, that contract is outrageous. Reese and I talked about that before, and like, there's it's going to cost them way too much money to get out of that contract, so they're going to be stuck with him for another 2 years.
It's 2 years.
But also, his stat line is even worse than Kincaid's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a better catching percentage. It's like around 70%, but one touchdown all season. Like, I mean, what are we doing with these guys? He had like 311 yards last year. And I get it. Knox is a bigger guy. He's supposed to be a blocker, but Knox is also the problem with Knox as well is he's boys with the quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
him and Josh Allen are boys. Knox isn't going anywhere. They paid him $30 million. It's one of the worst contracts in Bills history.
I don't know if it's one of the worst. I mean,
Modern Bills history.
yeah, I mean, let's be
Last
honest.
last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely argue me to agree with that, but I just think that last year Dawson Knox did what we expected Kincaid to do. He was there to catch the passes. He's been on the field to block. He actually had an incredibly healthy year last year. And
311 yards, 22 receptions.
A lot of short passes.
right, he was the operative short, outlet for Josh whenever he had needed hot read or anything like that. He came up big on a few catches in that game, and he's became a pretty good blocker now. As far as us running the ball, he's one of the reasons why we were able to run the ball so well. I just think it's hard to compare the two. I think they're two different people. And I thought I think the Bills are just pivoting away from the two tight end thing. And that's kind of what they had to do last year because we expected them to go in with the two tight end set, both of them two on the field. But the problem was Kincaid couldn't stay on the field. So
they've never used them the way that they should. I mean, you have what are supposed to be two top tier tight ends. Why aren't you running that set more often? Even at the very beginning, they were never running it. You have these two guys that use them. It just ties back into my argument against the coaching for this team. Like, why aren't you using the weapons that you have available? And I mean, yeah, Knox has some dropping issues, but I don't know. I still think you need to use that.
well, I mean, but like I said, he wasn't healthy all year, so he didn't play in a whole lot of games last year. And when he
No.
did, he was a non-factor because he was injured and couldn't play in as many plays. So he definitely has to show what he has this year. But you couldn't run the set if the guy isn't on the field.
No, my point was just in general, not just last year.
He's talking about just over the last couple of seasons since he's been here.
Yeah.
We had flashes in his first season. That's what gave us hope for the second season.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just think that maybe this is the third year, and let's see what the kid has. Obviously, if the kid has it, then they're going to probably let go of Knox. But if the kid shows that he can't have it, he doesn't have it, then more than likely they're just going to keep Knox and maybe just kind of keep him as a second tier guy until his contract's up.
Rookie contracts are generally how long? 4 years? 5 years?
Well, it's the first round pick is 4 years plus the fifth option. Anything else that I believe is 4 years.
So is this Kincaid's third year now then officially coming in?
Yeah, going into his third.
Okay, so we'll have him for at least 1 to 2 more years after this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's again if the Bills decide they want to exercise that 5th year option. But he does I believe he gets a little bit of a boost in pay in that if you take the 5th year option.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I
mean, that's a good. I mean, hey, I can't argue that one. That one's fine. My pick is going to be a very interesting one, and in my opinion, it's time for. I think it's put up or shut up for Bedard because you just signed that contract. This is going to tell us a lot. You just paid this guy, you extended him out and you're considering him a piece of that defense. So a very important piece. Last year, I didn't see a whole lot I mean, he had a few splash plays here and there, but this year he can't have any excuse like he had last year. You brought in some horses to play in front of him. We can't count on Milano. Dorian Williams is still working on things, and he's playing. He's not even playing to Mike. He's playing to Sam. Bernard has to be the guy on defense right now, and he has no excuses to have a crappy year like he did last year. He has to show that he deserved the check that he's getting, and he's a playmaker for this defense. What do you guys think?
I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, I don't what is he a DB or what's his
Linebacker, right?
Will linebacker?
Mike.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, 1 sack last year. That's not the best.
Bills don't really rush their linebackers, though, do they? It's usually the front four they rush, correct?
Well, they became more of an aggressive defense and blitzing last year, but it wasn't so much the sacks, but he wasn't really there. Great covering over the middle. There was a lot of run plays, blowing right past him where he wasn't in position or he couldn't get to the spot. There's a lot of things that that were much bad. He did worse last year than he did the year before. So
yeah, it certainly looks like it, and that extension is ginormous. What was it, $50 million?
Yeah, I mean, for a middle linebacker who, to me, he hasn't proven a lot to me to warrant an extension like that. But we'll see what happens. They expect that he's going to turn it around this season. If you ask me, he's the one that should be put on notice, man. You just got the extension. Let's see, you need to be a playmaker on that defense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, definitely time to put up or shut up for him. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and you need to earn that contract. Like, if they're going to pay you that much money, then you got to be on the field, you got to be healthy, and you got to make plays. And if he can't do that, then yeah, put up or shut up.
Yeah, because don't forget now. I mean, they forced Milano to reduce his contract to 1 year, which means they expect Bernard to be the guy. So now he's got to be the guy.
So slightly in conjunction with that, I would say that them forcing Milano to reduce his contract kind of puts him automatically in the position of needing to put up or shut up, correct?
Well, I would agree with that. But the only thing is that the Bills currently have Dorian Williams right now, and they just signed Bernard to that contract. Milano has to blow the roof off the place in order for them to do it, extend him, and to show that he can play an entire season. He has yet to show that in the last 3-4 seasons. So I think the Bills are just kind of like, okay, well, let's see what happens. But I mean, whether he, fails or whether he improves and shows he can stay on the field, it's a win-win for them either way.
Because, I mean, as long as if Milano can stay healthy, I'm curious to see what he does. He honestly was going to be my pick, but I changed my mind because I figured it was too easy of a choice. But I'm real curious to see what kind of numbers he can put up if he can actually stay on the field for an entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah,
what do you got?
For me, I have an offensive player.
You about to say something else?
Oh no.
Oh, I was waiting for Sean. Let's see what you got, Sean.
I think that I know it's only his second year in the league, but I think Keon Coleman needs to show something this year. I think the fact that we passed on Xavier Worthy over in who went to Kansas City and ended up taking Coleman instead. And I just think that he started out the season looking decent, but he didn't show enough to justify being the first round pick that he was. And I think that now that he has most of a year under his belt, he needs to show that he can handle it in the big leagues. And he needs to show that he is our true, because yeah, we all love Shakir, but Shakir's a slot receiver. Your slot receiver shouldn't really be your number one guy. At least in my opinion. I think Coleman needs to show us that he can do that.
Well, I think that's why they brought Palmer in. I think Palmer's very clearly going to be the number one, I think, to take some of that load off of Coleman. But to your point, yes, Coleman needs to step up as well, right? Like, he needs to stay healthy, needs to be on the field, and needs to get down the field. And we had some, he had some splashy plays this year. He had some really nice every once in a while, like I'd say every other game, he had like a really great,
Yeah.
wild touchdown catch. But it always seemed like it took him a while to get going in a lot of these games where he would like drop the ball a handful of times, but then he would have like that one splashy play to like kind of make up for it. But that always seems to be a bigger problem with the Bills is that like they go into these like slumps in games sometime where like you need somebody to step up and make a play. And that's kind of why I went with Kincaid because it was just like your wideouts and your tight ends like need to bail your quarterback out every once in a while because the older Josh gets, the harder it's going to be to expect Josh to run and take hits and things like that. Because God forbid Allen takes an injury, this team is like screwed. If Allen, this team will win two
Oh yeah.
games if Allen takes an injury. You know what I mean? Like this roster is not equipped to not have Josh Allen on it. So like you got to bail out your quarterback because you can't expect your quarterback to be Superman forever.
Honestly, when people were arguing about who the MVP for last year should have been, that was my argument for why Josh deserved the MVP. Because if Allen goes down, the Bills team is nothing.
Yeah, I could still put Baltimore winning 10 games with Derrick Henry and that defense. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean Lamar did put up gaudy numbers, but and I know we're going way off topic here, but I mean like yeah, Lamar put up gaudy numbers and he also put up gaudy numbers against really bad teams. Like they left him in late in games. And anybody who wants to tell me that Josh Allen, who played 12 less quarters than Lamar because he was pulled out of that many games, or, he started one snap in the Patriots game, couldn't have got up to the gaudium, the extra 400 yards and three touchdowns to put himself ahead of Lamar. Get out of here. Like, you don't know anything about football. You're a homer. Like, you don't, pay attention to the sport. Like, yeah, Lamar is great, but if Josh Allen played all of those things and like they let him put up gaudy numbers against garbage teams, Josh Allen would have crushed Lamar's numbers last year.
The best example of that was that Giants game where they were
Mhm.
already up by like 3 touchdowns, and Lamar is still coming out in the fourth quarter to put up more points. And when that game was so wildly out of reach, there was no point in having him out
But
there.
they win that game like 45-10.
It was
And
something
like
stupid like
and,
that.
and Lamar was still playing in the fourth quarter. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we're way off topic here, but yeah.
All right, rein that back in.
We talking about Keon?
So no, but another thing I want to get into then is what team, any team you want, what team do you think is going to take a step forward this year, and what team do you think is going to take a step back this year? Reese, I'm gonna kick it to you first.
Well, I mean, if there's any team I think that's probably going to take a big jump forward this year, my selection would have to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are going to I think they're going to be the surprise team in the NFC this year. I can see them making it into the playoffs next year and actually even making it to the second round. It wouldn't shock me if they made it to the third round. I thought they were a very competitive team. I thought they were one of the better teams in the NFC last year. Um, outside of a lot of injuries on their offense, which kind of hurt them last year. Their defense is so-so. It's not bad. It's pretty average. But I just think I like Baker right now. Baker right now is, I mean, he's throwing the ball with all kinds of conviction now. His receivers love him. I mean, he's a true teammate. I mean, that's never been in question for him. But I just like what they're doing there. They brought in some young talent again this year. They want to stack on top on that defense. I just think that I just think they're gonna be a surprise team. I mean, I wouldn't sleep on them at all this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. I mean, they kind of squeaked into the playoffs last year, and they're in a pretty crap division this year, so it's very likely they're going to win at least 5 of 6 division games this year. And yeah, I mean, some of the out of the division games might be a little tougher for them, but they should very easily win their division, like
Mm-hmm.
comfortably win their division. I completely agree with that.
I mean, Tampa's already been headed in that direction over the last few years. So I can see this being the year they finally actually get over that hump into being a consistently good team. Because the last few years, Tampa has generally been an okay team. It'll be nice to see if they can get to the point where we're talking about them consistently in a positive fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it wouldn't shock me if they make it into the second round or even to the conference championship next year. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that.
And you said the team that I think is going to take the biggest step back.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I said that I had to mark, their quarterback number one, I think this is the year you probably see Kansas City take a step back. I just don't see them as a whole this year being able to take that number one seed this year. And I just don't think that. I think that the other teams in their division have greatly improved, which means that their road to the playoffs isn't going to be as easy as it used to be. So you can see some losses come to all. I can see them lose once to all three of the teams in their division. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, I don't know what the Raiders have on Mahomes, but they give him more fits than anybody else in the league. I don't know why he can't play against the Raiders. He seems to struggle fairly well. I mean, they just know how to play him.
They
So
throw that front line at them.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, then you have the Chargers who are now turning around this year. Denver for sure is turning around this year. They could for sure take a loss from each one of those teams. I mean, or at least two of those teams, or even get. I mean, it wouldn't even shock me if they even got swept by one of those teams in their division. Mainly like the Chargers or somebody. But I just don't. I think that they're going to the mountaintop. Might have come to an end this year. I think last year is a hard one to come back from. When you catch a beating like that, it changes you as a team. It's a little different when you're losing with a few seconds left in the game or you're just completely dominating. You take a butt whooping like they took, that changes a team. I mean, I don't care what team you are. You take a beating like that. And then not to mention, the worst part is like we've seen the Bills take beatings like that sometimes. We've seen them. We've seen Indianapolis Colts run the ball down our throats. We've seen the Titans run the ball and just beat us to hell. But the thing is, that happened to us like during the season. So you got a chance to come right back on that. They ended the season with that.
Yeah, that's going to be in those players' heads all off season.
There's no reprieve from it. So this is all they had to think about. So when you take a beat like that affects you mentally. So I think that team's. I would not be surprised if they even fall down to a third or fourth seed this
year. I like it. I like it a lot. And
I mean,
hope you're right.
They lost so many people in this offseason too. Some like integral parts. Their offensive line they lost a couple of people off of, and think about what that's going to do to Mahomes not having that same presence that he's had for the last few years protecting him, and that's why the Raiders do so well against Kansas City is because they know they throw their front four at him and get him. I mean, you put Mahomes on the ground a few times, and I think that's the way you beat him. It gets into his head.
Great. So I'm going to go for my most improved team this year. I think this is going to kind of be pretty obvious, but the Patriots, like 1,000% the Patriots. They're going, I mean, they were a week 18 loss away from being the worst team in the league last year. So, I mean, they can do nothing but go up. Vrabel, all those pieces that they acquired in the draft, bringing in Diggs, getting massive help on their offensive line. I think the Patriots are going to be the number 2 team in the division, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I can't argue that one. I mean, they have no other way to go but up. I mean, they've been at the bottom for the last 4 years. So, yeah, I mean that's a good pick. I mean, there's nothing you can say about them. I expect them to be more competitive against the Bills this year. I think you said when we were picking out how everything was going to fall out from our scheduling and stuff like that, they can possibly beat us once. It wouldn't shock me if they beat us once, but it also wouldn't shock me if we sweep them again. So I mean, it can go either way. But I do like. I mean, New England has no other direction to go right now, and I think that with a new head coach who's not underneath the Belichick way, he's bringing his own coaching style. I think it would help out New England tremendously. But I also do think that it's going to help them out in that front office because, I mean, the Bill Belichick, and then you go into Gerard Mayo last year, who has no experience at all, sitting in this position, I think you're going to probably definitely see a difference in that organization with the changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Vrabel hiring alone just gives them a much better chance than they had under Gerard Mayo. Vrabel came out of Tennessee, if I recall correctly, right?
He was off coaching for a little while, but yeah, before that, Tennessee.
Yeah, he is a great. I mean, he's a physical coach, and I don't know. I think the fact that he brings experience to the table is huge for them, and the parts that they've added. I mean, yeah, they have like old injury prone Stephon Diggs, but that's still Diggs is still a better receiver than some of these teams have out there. So I think they've added just enough parts, and I mean, with the continuing evolution of Drake May and how good he was starting to look at the end of the season, I agree with you. I think that New England has the potential to probably be second in the AFC East, maybe even a wild card.
Yeah. No, I have them pegged like just outside of the top 7 right now. I think that AFC West is just too strong, and I think that multiple teams from that AFC West are going to get in. But to nobody's surprise, I think for my team, that's going to take a step back. And I mean, they were already kind of middle of the pack, but I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league next year. And I've been saying this for a while in all of our draft videos. San Francisco. I think San Francisco is going to be the worst team in the league next year. They did nothing to improve their offense. I know you mentioned that they brought Salah in, but I don't think it matters. All you did was put rookie pieces on your defense. That was all right. So yeah, is your defense going to be better? Fine. Debo's gone. Ayuk is coming off of an ACL. Christian McCaffrey is going to be coming out on a wheelchair. What did you do to help Brock Purdy at all? You did nothing. You got like everyone everywhere that I have read has said San Francisco had the worst offseason of any team in the NFL by a mile. And it's been proven that Brock Purdy cannot succeed on his own. He needs help. And they got him no help. They actually lost help. So I don't know. I don't know what San Francisco is going to do. I don't know. Their defense might be able to keep them in games. I don't know how they're going to score points.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, though, I mean, but you also got to look at their division. I don't expect Arizona to do a whole lot this year. I mean, they're pretty much the same team as last year.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are going to walk away with that division.
I mean, I think the Rams will probably win the division, but I mean, if anything, I think that the 49ers probably go to number 2.
No, Seattle goes to number 2.
Seattle lost all the pieces.
No,
they got one receiver there now and a running game, but they don't even their passing game still has to be proven when who's it, Darnold there now?
Yeah, and also keep in mind too that we do have a subscriber who mentioned on one of our last videos that loves the Arizona Cardinals as well. So shout out to you, subscriber. I forget who it was, but I know you were watching our video hyping up the Cardinals as well. But I mean, even if you look at that division though, who's like Purdy's the worst quarterback in that division, and it's not close. Stafford's better than him. Darnold's better than him, and I don't like Kyler Murray, but he's better than him too. San Francisco's just, in my opinion, on paper, they've got the worst roster in that division.
I don't know if any of those quarterbacks you named are worse than him. I think they're all the same.
Oh, I don't. I think we said the other day that we thought Stafford was the first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, outside of Stafford, I mean, Kyler Murray, really?
I mean, really? He's better than Brock Purdy.
How? What way? Purdy's been to the playoffs multiple times now. Kyler can't.
If you were to ask me which quarterback would I want if I had to choose between the two, I would take Kyler Murray 100 times out of 100.
I mean, but then you'd be stuck in the situation Arizona is right now and never make the playoffs.
I mean, between the two of them, like if I had to choose between the two of them.
No, I get it, but if you know what you know now, there's no way.
Well, Kyler Murray, he's a victim of just not getting any help. I mean, I think Arizona's going to be one of these teams that's going to be in the middle of the pack and probably go like, 9-8 or 8-9 or something like that, And probably the same thing with Seattle, like 7-10 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Not that good of a quarterback, though. I mean, the guy just runs around the pocket, squirms around, and throws the ball downfield, hopes somebody catches it. The guy doesn't read defenses at all. He squirms out of the pocket first opportunity he gets because he can't see. So, I mean, I'd rather take a Purdy who I know can make it to a system quarterback. At least I know he can manage the game over Kyler Murray. I mean, how many games have you seen them lose because of him? You see the frustration on Marvin Harrison Jr.'s face last year? Every time he overthrew the ball or he didn't see him down the field? I mean, now, Kyler Murray, I don't think he's any better than Purdy. And, I mean, Darnold, really. This guy, the 1 year he lights it up in the league, he shits the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, no, that is true, but I mean, like you were saying though, right? Like it's like another put up or shut up guy. I think this is it for Kyler Murray, right? Like you got Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, and he's going to be awesome, and you brought more help in on your offense. So Arizona better be better this year, to our subscriber that likes Arizona.
You mean SS Holla?
Yeah, SS Hala. Arizona better be better this year. They've got every reason with which to be better. So be better, Arizona.
Yeah, why don't you write in our comments when you see this video and tell us exactly how you feel about them this year? Where do you think they improved? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs this year? I'd like to get a full count from a Cardinals fan to know where they stand with it.
And back me up on this San Francisco thing too while you're at it.
You don't have to. I know
that. Anyway, let me kick it over to you, Sean.
So I want to thank the two of you for just absolutely ruining my spiel I was going to go on about the Arizona Cardinals as my pick. So thanks for that, guys. I don't know. The team that needed to show it for me was going to be the Cardinals. You basically went over all the points though of why they did that. So I think as my secondary team, I want to pick the Washington Commanders.
Well, I wouldn't change your pick. Just argue it. Tell us why you think that
you guys literally went over exactly what I was going to say.
So you think Washington's going to take a step back?
No, I think Washington is the one that needs to continue to prove that they can continue the success from last year. They're my positive team.
So you think they're going to be better than they were last year?
I do.
They made it to the NFC Championship game.
I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl next year.
Oh my God, no, they're not.
Yep.
Who is this guy? Get this guy off of our chat. Washington was going to be my team that's going to take a huge step back this year.
Nope.
That happens with rookie quarterbacks every single time. I want to hear your point. Well, let me hear your point so I can tell you why you're wrong.
So I think adding is it Debo or is it who went there from San Francisco?
Old man Debo went there.
I think adding Debo gives them a experienced presence on that with that wide receiver core. Their running game looked pretty good last year. Johnson was running pretty well. And I just think that he's gonna, unlike most rookie quarterbacks, I think that Jaden Daniels is gonna succeed next year. But keep in mind that I'm sort of being thrown into the wolves here because I had to switch my pick. So
I got one thing to say to that. CJ Stroud.
Doesn't happen to every single one.
It happens to every quarterback who's not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Come on. Defenses are going to figure that out. They always do. They always do. That division, except for the Giants, that division got better. I mean, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but Dallas got better, and the NFC, and they're going to play. They're going to play a great. They're going to play a much harder schedule this year. They were one of the bottom feeders the year before that. That's why they got him. They're going to play better teams this year. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Well, we can hopefully then agree.
Argue your point, Sean. I'm just listening. I mean, I can't. No, I didn't pick Washington at all. So I like to hear this.
Like I said, I just think that I think that Washington is going to be. This is going to be the year that a quarterback goes into their sophomore season, and they just look, if not the same, better. I mean, Jaden Daniels looked fantastic last year, and like I said, getting Debo adds the experience to the receiver core. Yeah, he's older, but I mean, you don't really have anybody that was that experienced on the prior. Their defense wasn't half bad, and I don't think Philly is going to be as good this year as they were last year. I mean, I think they're still going to be really good, but I think people are going to be more prepared for them this year, and that leaves that NFC East wide open.
Oh God, no! Philly's
I
gonna walk.
really think so.
Philly's gonna
Whoa,
run
whoa,
away with that
whoa. I was
division.
with you up
I
to
don't
that.
think so.
I was with you up to
So,
that point, Sean.
Hold
so
on. I think
here are some. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think Philly at most wins 12 games.
Which easily wins that division.
No, because I think Washington wins at least 11 or 12.
So Washington has Philly at home, Philly on the road,
Yep.
Detroit at home, Denver at home. They've got some winnable games against Chicago, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Giants at home. But then they listen to their away schedule. Philly, Green Bay, Kansas City, the Chargers, the Vikings, the Dolphins, and then the Falcons, the Cowboys, and the Giants. I've got like 7 losses there.
Nah.
I think the Eagles are going to sweep them. The Packers are going to beat them. The Chiefs are going to beat them. The Chargers are going to beat them. Detroit's going to beat them. That's 5 losses right
We'll,
there.
we'll, we'll see.
Denver's going to beat them.
We'll see. That's my surprise. That's my out of left field take for this upcoming season.
I respect it. I respect it.
I don't respect it at all.
It's my out of left field take for next season. I think honestly, I'm going to call it now. Washington's going to win the division.
God, get this guy out of here. He's drunk.
But I'll go back. I'll go to my. Hopefully, we can agree on my taking a step back and being terrible team is the Miami Dolphins. We've already seen the Dolphins on a downward slide, and then going into this offseason where they've lost almost their entire defense. Like the amount of turnover on that team's defense is probably the most I think I've seen on a football team like ever. And correct me if I'm wrong, T, but I'm pretty sure they lost almost every single position player, correct?
Pretty much on defense. They did. I think they lost their tackle too this year, and I'm not sure about their center. I thought it was something with their center. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, their defense's primary way was gutted out. They just let everybody go. I mean,
exactly.
Over the last couple of seasons, they've just been repeatedly letting people go. I mean, the only player left on that defense right now is Jalen Ramsey, and they're still trying to trade him right now.
Yeah.
The only problem that I have with that, Sean, is Miami's got a really soft schedule this year. They play a lot of bad teams this year. They've got Atlanta, Carolina, Cleveland, Indianapolis, the Jets, the Saints. I mean, there's a lot of wins there. I mean,
they may win some games, but they're going to be over garbage teams, and those games themselves are going to be garbage. They're going to
but I mean, they got eight games against bad teams, and we all have seen over the years Miami beats up on bad teams.
Yeah, but that was when Miami at least had a semblance of a defense. It was when Tyreek Hill actually wanted to play there. It was when Tua wasn't one hit away from being a vegetable. I mean, that's another thing. Like the kid, I can't stand Mike McDaniels, and part of me feels like he's lost that team. So I'm kind of surprised he's still there. But Tyreek Hill doesn't want to be there. He's more or less come out and said that without actually saying it. I'm honestly surprised they didn't find a way to trade him this offseason and get something for him. But then,
way too much.
Yeah, but then what do? Cut him, or do you keep him and he just doesn't want to be there?
Same problem you got with your boy Tua. They don't want him as starting quarterback right now, but they're stuck with him.
And Tua, my God, a stiff breeze hits him the wrong way, and the guy will be dead.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I disagree with you there.
Like there's plenty of other teams that we could say are going to take steps back, which I'm sure even more than the 3 that we've come up with. But I really think Miami with their turnover is going to be one of the worst, even with facing bad teams next year. I think they're going to take some bad losses.
All right, then. So last question for you guys, and we'll go around kind of like lightning round here. Who is going to be overall? No, forget step forward and step back. I'm going to start with you, Sean. Who is going to be your biggest surprise team this year? What's going to be your biggest surprise team of the season?
Overall?
Yeah.
Beyond my goofy pick of the Commanders, the Bears.
Good or bad?
Good. I think the Bears are going to come out and surprise this year. Not necessarily enough to take them into anything crazy, but I think they're going to have a way better season than they did last year.
Okay. Reese, who's going to be your biggest surprise team this year?
Well, I have to keep the Bucks in there. I think the Bucks are going to go on a tear this year. I think they're going to be I think I can see them possibly win 11, 12 games this year. So, that's going to be my pick of the team that no one's going to expect to, kind of blow right through the NFC this year. Like I said, outside of, their division's weak. They're absolutely the best team in their division. So there's a plus there. They're going to make the playoffs. And I just think that they're a very good team on offense. And I think that, once they start, getting deep into the season, I think they're the only teams that are going to probably hold up going forward because of the way their team is built right now.
Yeah. Quick question for you, though. Is this going to be the year that, like, every 4 or 5 years, Atlanta is randomly good? Is this going to be one of those years that it messes with Tampa?
Maybe. Name their quarterback.
Who is it?
Yeah,
right?
I also have to agree with Sean as well. I think Chicago is going to surprise a lot of teams this year. I think Chicago is going to win way more games than people are going to give them credit for. I think bringing in a brand new coach who's very offensive minded, that guy from Detroit, I think that's going to be huge for Chicago. I really do. I think they're going to be much better than they were last year. They're going to be better coached. And their coach cost them like 3 games last year. Remember that abomination on Thanksgiving with the timeouts? You know what I mean? Chicago absolutely will be a better team. They will be better run. They will be a better coach team. I give Chicago at least 3 more wins this year.
Yeah. And I think even some of the games that they lose, I think they're going to be in the games.
Yeah. And so last question, and then one more, and we'll start with you this time, Reese. What team or player is going to be the biggest disappointment this year?
You said team or player?
Team or player.
DK Metcalf. I'd stay away from him in fantasy.
In Pittsburgh?
Pickens wanted to leave because they couldn't get the ball to him. So I don't know what I don't know what DK expects to happen there with them not even having a quarterback. I just don't. He's going to probably be the disappointment this year, especially if he's going to go fantasy wise. So I'm thinking fantasy point wise, he's going to probably be the disappointment this year.
I like it. I can't disagree with it. Sean, what about you?
Give me a sec. Looking at my options here.
Who do you got, Mike?
I have a couple, but I think I'm probably going to have to go with Cincinnati. I think that everyone's expecting Cincinnati to be a lot better this year because how could their defense be worse? But then again, their defense was historically bad this year. And I don't think bringing in a bunch of rookies is going to make them substantially better. Even bringing in a new coach and a bunch of rookies is going to make them substantially better. I still think Baltimore is the class of that division. And I don't think Cincinnati is going to be able to win as many games as people think they're going to win. Yes, I placed them high in our power rankings because I think their offense is still super explosive. But I can't imagine their defense is going to be much better than like way, way better. And everyone seems to have like all the media seems to have them as like the 4th best team in the AFC. And I don't see that. I think they're like somewhere around 6 or 7.
I like it. I can't argue that one. What do you got, Sean?
I could punch down at the Cleveland Browns, but we already know what a dumpster fire they are. I think the New Orleans Saints. I'm looking at the roster for the New Orleans Saints right now, and there are 2 starting receivers. Do you know who they are?
No. No idea.
It'll come to me in a minute.
Out of the 2,
he's
Chris Olave.
Yeah, Chris Olave is one of them.
Oh, yeah, Olave's still there. That's right.
Well, the other one is about 900 years old in Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Those
just
are their two starting wide receivers. They have Derek Carr throwing them the ball.
Derek Carr, no,
Who,
he's not.
it's
He's not
they
going to
going to start
start.
this year.
who's it going to be then?
They're a rookie that they drafted.
Is that Tyler Show?
I think so. Yeah.
As of right now, they still have Carr listed as the top person on the thing I'm looking at,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
I think.
Regardless,
I
even
think he
with a
might.
rookie there, that might make it even worse. I mean, yeah, they have Alvin Kamara, but Alvin Kamara does well for a few games and then disappears. I just, I don't know. I have zero faith in the Saints. So,
There you go. All right, guys, that's our list. That's our biggest surprises and our biggest step up and step backs for the NFL this season. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below, and hit us up with everything you think that's going to happen in the NFL season this year. We're gonna have a bunch more content for you guys coming up in the next couple of weeks here. We got the schedule next week, Wednesday. We're gonna break it all down for you. We're gonna do a win-loss. And hopefully, while waiting for the NFL season to come up here, we've got 32 teams. So we plan on doing 32 schedules for you guys. We're going to pick each team. We're going to go up and down the schedule. We're going to look at the wins, look at the losses, and break it all down and, give our predictions on the teams that are actually going to make the postseason. So look forward to that content. And as well as our WWE content that's going to be coming up. We got Backlash this weekend on the 10th. We'll have our predictions for you on Friday. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. As always, hit that like and sub button. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great evening and take care.